Perfect. Yeah, sorry everybody, my laptop was really jumpy back then. Can everybody see me now? Is that a lot clearer, guys? Jade's in. Great, thanks Holly, I can see you. Super, super. Okay, so Jade, can you unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hey, good. Sorry about that. My laptop went all weird on me. So anyway, okay, so good evening, everybody. It is Monday, the 28th of October. Can you believe it? Like, where is this year going? It's just so exciting. And October is a Rocktober month. We just so happen to have sponsoring is obviously there's no sign up fee if you do 150 PQB, and as a PC 100 SRP, no sign up fees. So this has been amazing because it's really tied in with the training, the 12-week sponsoring training that we've been running. And obviously week 1 was myself, then we had incredible Danny Wells, then we had the panel board, and then last week Carol Sutton-Houghton live from the woods at Center Parks. And now we have our next leader, an incredible leader, and she will be a national vice president, executive national vice president. I like 100% know with every single cell in my body. So Jade was announced as #1 top sponsoring in the entire UK at AAC last month. So huge congratulations, Jade. This woman, I mean, I loved it because the top 5 regions in sponsoring, Jade was 1, and then #2, let me just think, they were all young moms. I mean, there was, who else? I mean, yeah.
Was Ella Butler 1?
She was 1 and she was heavily pregnant. Then you also had, she was also pregnant at the time, the skin tech lady. Danny, do you remember their names? I know Laura was #4.
And it was Kim, wasn't it? Wasn't Kim Miller?
Kim Miller. And it was in Martin McKenzie's team. She's the...
Oh, Rebecca Green.
That's it. And she was pregnant. So we had like 3 heavily, well, Jade having a newborn, 2 heavily pregnant women, and then Laura, a single mom, and then obviously Kim as well. So rocking it out, the mothers. I mean, we're talking at the most kind of like crazy time in their lives. We're dominating the top 5 UK RVP sponsoring, which, guys, that in itself, I mean, Jade had, she was there like with Campbell and rocking the pram, and I had to take over, and she had to go up and give a speech, like, and we had no idea that they were going to announce this. So I obviously was like, Jade, please come on board and sponsor, and and talk about how you are #1 UK, because we all want to hear about how you do it and how do you encourage your team as well to follow in your incredible footsteps. So I'm going to pass over to the amazing Jade Brimfield.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, amazing training. This has been so awesome. And I think what's really good to know and to hear from all of the leaders and people that are doing these trainings is that we all tend to use a variety of reach out methods. I know Carol last week trained on how she's really great at building a client base and how that can turn into sponsoring. And I do want to touch on that because ultimately we are all out there to make new connections, aren't we? We really need to make new connections. Oh, thank you. Reading the comments. To make new connections, to basically build into our network so that we are constantly having that filter in so that we can go out and sponsor. And I've kind of broken this training down into 3 sections. So the first one is how we make new connections using the products, because ultimately I am very, very heavily strung on basically trying to make new connections, regardless of whether that's talking straight in with the business. But we also have these amazing products, and sometimes when you're going to a complete stranger, or particularly if it is online, a product exposure is a softer option for you to get them into the filter, into your client group, and then you can start to nurture. So how to make new connections using the products, which will then convert into sponsoring. And then also want to talk about how you are going to continue to nurture and uplift those current clients. You need to keep them watching you and loving Arbonne, basically, offering you new people as well, because they are going to be a funnel for them to connect and bring new people in, so that ultimately you're adding extra people into your network. And then the third one really is my main successes of sponsoring. So I've done a cheeky little slideshow. Let me just pull that up. Can everyone see that okay? Awesome. Okay, so number one, how to make new connections using the products. I can't actually read my own thing because I'm covered my screen up. And making it easy for people to shop, which equals in converting to sponsoring. So ultimately with this, guys, what I'm really trying to hone in on is, as I say, making new connections, but we also want to make it really easy for new people and our existing people to shop easily, to get hold of these amazing deals, because as you know, this month, I think there's about 5 phenomenal product deals that you all need to be absolutely 100% maxing out on, and not just promoting and talking about the Clean Swap box. Like, think of different ways that you can talk about it, different exposures, different reasons why they need to swap it around, or making it easy for people to create their own bundles and shop and get exposure to new products. So one of the main things that you can do using social media and getting new connections in via the products is making sure that you are being 100% authentic with befores and afters of you. No one really wants to see on your stories or your posts pictures of other people. Like, yeah, it's good to keep throwing them in, but they ultimately do want to see you. They want to see you using them and how it works. So this is just a few examples of how I've been using the products to get people to reach out to me and make new connections and start that soft kind of warm up talking. And also, just people love a story. It's one thing I've really noticed that I've got bigger success with is when I've actually took the time to write a post that's actually a story about, that's going to connect with somebody. So for example, Tiffany, or perhaps Fiona. So one thing that I've really noticed was with my before and after, as you can see, my 30 days more recently, is that I really wanted to be like, who was I talking to? At the end of the day, probably new moms that are finding it hard to like get rid of the tummy or whatever. And it was that story. So really, maybe just add a little bit of thought about who you are talking to, because I know we are talking to everybody, but generally there is going to be like an avatar of who you're trying to reach out to. So don't try and be everyone, just go for who you're trying to talk to there. But also repeat. Like, I'm not going to keep posting the same photo over and over again, but you do want to repeat about the 30 days, but in a different way. How you love the shapes, because now like your skin's not all spotty or whatever it might be, but you're still basically going back to the 30 days. And then there's another one there about my skin, how that's changed, and obviously me using the products before and after, actually showcasing items from our new Makeup in 5. So the second thing that we do, and this is something that we do as a team, so it may not be that you want to do it as a team, but we do, we try and encourage like new connections with flash sales. So we'll all decide on a product for a day and do like a 24-hour flash sale, and we'll put it at our discount. So for example, here we recently did one for the new little like Christmas palettes, where we dropped it down and it was like for 24 hours only. We created big hype. We went all in, all over our stories, all over our client groups. And because of our stories, tagging people in, other people were seeing the stories, and it was getting attention and interest that way. And another thing, you know, I know obviously sometimes time is short, but if you can, like, obviously do your own photos and even make your own videos, they're so powerful. This is just the end of one of mine. I mean, that really didn't take me very long at all. It's just a case of actually like, okay, so posting the same photos isn't really working for me. What else can I do? And it's up to you really to kind of think of new ways. So this is just ideas in terms of products and reaching out. And I actually got quite a few connections just from posting that video on like my stories and stuff, which was really, really good to get people in. And then I've got a new filter for people to go into my client group, and I've got like a holding space for them because they've then purchased a product, and I can then nurture that relationship. The second thing there we did was just about the makeup brush set. So just did a big promotion about the makeup brush set. It's always been £35 to be honest, but people don't really know about it, and just made a big like flash about it. So just some ideas that you may want to do with your team. And obviously people are seeing it all over, like, so it's quite exciting, you know, that people are seeing the same products, maybe some of the clients of your teammates' clients, and people are like, oh, everyone's going in for this. So the second thing is, the third thing, sorry, is I wanted to, so this is something we've rolled out as a team, and it's made such a great duplication within our team in sponsoring new people. So getting people, those accounts into the business, and also being product users and being able to have great discounts. So like, there's so much going on this month, isn't there? Like Clean Swap, like we want them to know that there are other ways of being able to benefit from an amazing account. So we just simply put together like a build your own pack for 150 points and pick 3 products. And we just popped in, you can see the posters there, just like a few of our top favorites, because not all your clients have got a catalogue. They don't all want to look through an online catalogue. And these are just some of the top favorites. And actually people love like putting together their own little packs and stuff. So this has worked really, really well. And it may not ultimately, initially result in someone joining the business, but it's going to get those products on the skin, and it's going to get them into your network and get them watching you even more, because they've already invested and like got involved with Arbonne in that way. And just some great ones about Christmas. So I'll send, I think I've posted these, but if I haven't, I'll send them again on the group if people want to use. But you can create your own. It might be that those products you don't think are your top favorites, these are just some of ours, and we put them together. Oh, and another way to obviously get new people in here, I just popped on here, that if you've got current clients that are taking, like they're already clients, so it's not new people, get them to share it with their clients, like, oh, do you know anyone else that might be interested in this, another friend or a family? And if you do, I'll pop you into a raffle if they get their own build your own pack. And you can use your host rewards. You can say, I'll pop you into a raffle, and every new person that's added in, like, I'm just going to go out a raffle, and you can get a free product. So it's giving them an incentive as well, and nurturing your current clients. Okay, and then other ways are, so ways I make new connections with the products is I actively seek out people to meet me for the 30 days. So today I've met somebody for a coffee, and we've had an in-person chat about the 30-day program. I'm not just sending them a video all the time. Some people are a bit like nervous and scared about what they're embarking on, and actually just you buying them a coffee and asking them to like come and meet you automatically makes them feel a little bit at ease, and that there's nothing to gain if you're treating them to a coffee. And use that presentation. We did the training on it a couple of weeks ago. Use that because it's so impactful. Like today, just having that coffee, seeing the, not hurting their eye, but seeing what's their pain points are, what's bothering them, and that you've got something that genuinely is going to help them with whatever it might be. And then also other ways to make new connections and try and get new people into your filter for sponsoring ultimately is using polls about Xmas shopping. So like, I don't know, who's done their Christmas shopping this year? Who would love a personal shopper? Who still uses a mascara, or does everyone have false eyelashes these days? I don't know, just small, fun questions that you're able to basically get new people on, because there may be people starting to comment on your polls. It might not happen straight away, but if you are consistent, then you can start having a conversation with, or start like noticing that they're interacting with you and that they may be interested in a product sample, for example. So number 2, so that's how to make new connections. Number 2 is how to nurture and uplift your current clients. Keep them watching and loving Arbonne, because ultimately I've had lots and lots of clients like Carol that have converted to business builders in the end, because they want to be a part of Arbonne. And sometimes it just takes them a little bit longer, and they are watching you all the time. but ultimately they're also offering you new people for your network too. So the first thing that I do every year is I hold 3 dates where we do Christmas VIP events, and these are held at my house, have all the Christmas products out, have a range of other products out. It's easy for me because that means my husband isn't tied into the house. He can just go out to the gym or whatever, the kids are in bed, and I just buy some Prosecco, or you could just do some fizz sticks and do some hummus and dips and like carrot sticks or whatever. And this is an opportunity, not so much for me to be like, here's the eyeshadow palette, do you want me to try this? But let people have a chat, because actually your clients want to be in on Arbonne and they want to know your other clients too. And actually they start to make friends and people build this community. And it doesn't need to be like a massive thing. Just personally invite people. Don't create a big event on Facebook. Just say, I've got an exclusive VIP event. I'd really love for you to come along. I've got 2 dates. Which one can you make? Or 3 dates. And personally just invite them. They're going to feel so special. And actually what you're doing is you're getting into their world, you know, find out about them as well, and making sure that you're becoming their friend, because they are buying off you and spending lots of money. You need to be like looking after them too. I also then offer, this doesn't have to be Christmas time, this can be whenever, but generally if I look at my diary and I think, oh, it's looking a bit bare and I've not got like an online one-to-one or whatever, exclusive, I mentioned this before, exclusive one-to-one pamper makeup events. So this is where I literally just message one of my clients and I say that I'm starting an exclusive VIP nights, and I'd really love to invite you personally to my house for a one-to-one makeup and pamper night where you just get pampered and I get to like do your face if you don't mind, and I'll treat us to some Prosecco. And basically they come over to your house, which is so nice for them, because if they're hosting, sometimes it's an effort for them to get their friends there. You're just basically taking it all off them. You've got a bottle of Prosecco in, or fizz sticks and some nibbles, and you can just do them up, and it gives them a real one-to-one exposure. You're getting to find out about them and their life. And also you could ask them to bring a +1. So that could be somebody that you don't know. And again, you're creating that one-on-one. Has anyone, pop in the comments, been to an event where they've had so much more success when there's been like 3 people there to when there've been like 20 people at a party? Because for me, that hands down is, I get to be more, like, I get to connect with people more when there's less people there. So they work really well for me. And it's a great way if you can't get out the house. So have a can do, not a mindset rather than a problem mindset. That's what I'm trying to say. I send birthday wishes to people and Christmas cards out. So make even just a comment on Facebook, just making sure you check in every day whose birthdays it is. If it's one of your clients, make sure you give them a little post, give them a post in your thing. And also send out Christmas cards. Handwritten are so powerful. Your clients will love that, and they'll keep remembering you, and they're thinking about when their cream runs out or when their mascara runs out, rather than nipping into Superdrug. And so I am just going through this. Bear in mind, guys, I've been doing this for 3 years, but this has just been consistently. I know that the other VPs will say the same. It's just been consistently doing this. So if you're new, just these are great ideas to start from now, and know that this is all going to completely, you know, it's going to accumulate, and you're going to have that compound effect. The fourth thing is when I'm like dropping off samples or doing product drops and stuff, like care about them. Pop in. If they invite you in, don't be like, oh, I'm in a rush. Like some people are like, yeah, pop in, have a cup of tea, find out about them. Like I've made the best friends from clients that I never knew before Arbonne, and I've now like really, you know, they're trusting me, and they were sending me like presents when Campbell was born. It was so nice that we've like created that relationship. I also invite them to personal events. So for example, this Friday I'm having like a jewelry event for one of my friends. So I've invited some of my clients as well, invite them around to my house. Other events that you do, whether you, we've started to do healthy lunches once a month. I know Ali Hutchinson is doing this, and inviting them too, because it might be that they're still not quite hooked on the 30 days, but if they've got the option to come around for a free lunch and to find out about it a little bit more, it's nice that they are again meeting other people, meeting your other clients, being part of Arbonne, seeing the community, feeling what we have in Arbonne in terms of consultants and clients, because ultimately they want to be part of it. They're in Arbonne because it's such an amazing culture and the products are so good too. And also, like, other ways to nurture and uplift your clients, make them feel special, is ask if you could borrow their face. I'd love it if I could just use you. Could I give you a makeover? It's completely free. I'd love just to do some before and afters. Like, great. Another one, if like you've got nothing in the diary, you're thinking, yeah, those testimonials are so good, because they're seeing the other clients are being tagged in your group and that they're actually using the makeup. How amazing it is. And it's great practice too for you. Okay, so that's about nurturing and uplifting your client. Yeah, that was my notes on that one. Right, next one is so my main success is the last point of sponsoring. What is it that I'm doing? Well, ultimately, like I've just said, I'm building those long-term client building relationships. Sometimes it's not a quick fix. And this isn't the only way, guys, but this is just one of my strengths, that I'm making sure that I am really looking after my clients, and a lot of duplication in my team. I know that there are so many of our consultants that are totally following this and that have a very big client base. So in time that they will talk about the business, I've currently got 4 people that have messaged me in the last 2 weeks that have been clients for a very long time, that have now asked me that they want to hear more about the business. And it's not for me not asking them in the past, but it's just not been the right time. But they have been watching and watching and watching. The second thing is about in-person relationship building in other areas. So what I want you to think about is, if any mums or dads that take the kids to school, and you'll know what I mean. Sometimes, how are we doing for time? Okay. Sometimes there's the people that are heads down, rushing in. They'll try and cross the road before trying to make eye contact with you if they know you. They just can't be bothered. They're on their way to work. They're stressed and miserable. Do you know what I mean? Those sort of people. Are you one of those that avoids conversation and kind of just drops your kid off and like pretends you've not seen anyone? Or are you walking in, smiling, like saying morning to everyone, maybe get into the school run a little bit early, just like smiling, just being approachable, just in general? People can feel your energy, because I can tell the people that are literally like miserable, stressed, like crossing the road, like just don't want to converse with anybody. And actually people are so drawn to you if you are the second person, that one that's walking in and happy and actually starting to build relationship. This isn't about you going in and being like, I'm Arbonne, who wants to join my team? But actually going in and, you know, asking about them, or find out like, oh, you know, this is new to me, I've not done school before, but you know, well, what's your child's name? And I love your shoes, or whatever it is, or where did you get your buggy from? And finding out, like, since that school run, I found out that there's another mom that does these fitness workouts. So I've been going to these fitness workouts, and I've made new mom friends, and it's none of which I've openly spoken about the business, but I've made friendships, I've warmed to them. And since then we've added on Facebook, building that relationship. So this is a way of me in person having intention to build those relationships and making sure people know what it is that I'm doing without me having to blurt it out on them. And once you find that need, and it's a very natural conversation, similar to, I think Carol had one when she went to do a boot camp, and it just came out like that. You know, it was a perfect timing. When that perfect timing comes, people know, and they love Arbonne because they love you and they love how approachable you are. And creating in-person connections with direct intention. So what I mean by this is, yes, you'll see that all of those bits that I've just spoken about, it's all been online, Instagram, people watching you, making new connections, or it's been about nurturing your current client base. But I also do speak to people online about the business, but my main success is having direct intentional conversations with people that I'm meeting daily. So that may be waitresses. I've had 2 people that I've literally just gone into a coffee shop and I've just asked for them, you know, to connect on Facebook, and they've joined the business, because then I've followed up and we've met for a coffee, built that relationship, and I've gone out and intentionally asked them if they're open to new business opportunities. That might scare people a little bit, but is your radar on? Because there's everyone, you know, you can ultimately have a mindset where you're like, spoke to everyone, that is it, it's not going to work for me, no, I don't know how they're doing it, Danny must have got in first, she's spoken to everyone in Burbage, she's stealing all my clients. Or you can be like, actually, I'm looking around this town and there's loads of people that I don't even know the name of. There's loads of people. So have your radar on, be excited. In a coffee shop, just be observant. What is going on? Like, speak to somebody next to you and actually have that direct intention. When I was going region, I know I needed to sponsor. If there was nothing in my diary, I decided where I was going. I know Sally came with me one day. We just went to Market Harbour and we were like, right, we've got to get 5 numbers today. This is what we're doing. Everything's cancelled. And sometimes it doesn't have to be spammy like that, but it has to just be just have intention with those conversations. If you generally looked at someone and thought, wow, she looks amazing, like I'm probably never going to see her again, but she just looks like she could be Arbonne, then just tell her, love your makeup. I know this is really random. I've got my own business and I'd really love to talk to you about it. Are you open to new business opportunities? Let's connect. Like, and how many of those opportunities passed us by? Honestly, me included. Passed us by on holidays or wherever. Look at Nikki Marchant, never misses a trick on the plane, flashing her fizz sticks about, but she's making sure she's connecting with people, like she's having that intention. And ultimately, like, so accessing your clients' network, so making sure that you are speaking to your clients, trying to get your clients' network in, and just repeat. So once you've got into your clients' network as well and found out like they've hosted events or they've brought friends along, you can then repeat it with that other person, that whole list that I've just said. But ultimately, just to summarize, the main success for sponsoring that I have found is from doing everything. I'm not just like, oh, I can't get out. I do everything. I do a good mixture of everything, because there's people that are going to connect with you in different ways. And I just love that I'm diverse and I'm growing all my skills in different areas. So I don't do lots of parties per se, but I do have a lot of interest, like I say, for my one-to-ones, my client building that way, and also then obviously speaking to people in person and through my products, have a huge client base through products and help get testimonials and referrals from them to build that client base up. So I hope that helps. Has anyone got any questions? Let me just stop my screen and I'll open it up. If anyone's got any questions or anything that I've said that hasn't made sense, then please open the chat, unmute yourself and talk to me.
So Jade, loved it. And what I've just like going back and highlighting your training, you said about use your strengths to your advantage. And I think that's really important, because at the beginning you said, look, we're all different and we're doing this business different ways. You know, there's no wrong or right, but what is your strength? Like, really think about it. You know, you've had a lot of quality training through, you know, the last 5 weeks with everybody. So can I request you share all this stuff? So Danny's asking if you can share everything on the Do More page, all the buys and the packages and all that as well.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, super. Loads of thank you. Yeah, so I think you really had a valid point there, saying to share, because, you know, first of all, what do you enjoy doing? You know, it's like, if you're good at this, then get better, rather than think, oh, I need to work on this side. If that's not your strength, leave it alone, because there are other people who will automatically just be more natural at that. So go with what you enjoy doing it, because you're in business, you're an Arbonne. How long are you in Arbonne for? A lifer? I'm a lifer. So I know, you know, I'm going to have fun with this, and my skill set's going to increase, and then my outreach is going to increase as well. So, you know, I love that. I love the fact that you said you do everything. So it's almost like you're approaching all different types of people. So we're talking different types of shapes. You're approaching with all different types of products we have. So it's not just makeup. You've got your 30 days. So it's appropriate for the type of person, and picking up a conversation with somebody when you're ready, and more so when they're ready. You know, it is the friendship. It's not just, you know, there's you know how we know that corny chat up line, get your coat, love, you've pulled. Like, that probably worked 1 in a million. Like, it's not meant to work, but somebody did it sometimes. So it's like, we all know about that, but that's not really, for most people, if you run in with Arbonne, do you want to join my team? No. But you're making those friendships and relationships, and the biggest thing is trust. That's why people would join you. And I really feel like that, don't you? 4 years in our profession is almost like 20 years working corporate.
Yeah, 100%.
The journey. Is there any questions that you've seen in the chat, Jade? Have you managed to look at the chat?
So somebody asked about the healthy lunches, about what do we do? Sorry, I've just lost it now. Someone asked whether I just do shakes or... Okay, well, what we do on the healthy lunches, this is Ali Hutchinson. I know that Ali and Fiona do this. But we wanted to, so I used to do a healthy happy hour every month where I'd get a hall and we'd do a presentation. But actually now we are starting to do this, aren't we, more at the DAs. But I wanted, I felt like what Ali was doing with like making it a hub, showing some of the food that we eat, inviting people along, actually sharing the 30 days presentation. It's just another exposure. And actually people are seeing that more and more people are coming to these, and it's homely, and again, community. People do want to come along if you invite them to like a free lunch, and it's just something that we all muck in basically and put on like a vegan meal. Yeah, it's worked really well. It's definitely got interest as well, about the 30 days and what you're doing, and creating that community for people so they don't feel on their own. It's not just an online thing. They have got that like in-person community, if they're nearby. That helps. So yeah, we just have samples of shakes out. Oh, what should you do at lunch? A shake or healthy meal? Yeah, healthy meal, and then just have some like samples out for people to try, basically.
Yeah, I think you're right by exposures. And also what I find is, because Ali and she got it from an American, and we started doing this back, I think maybe 8 months ago now. And so we've been consistent. That is the last Saturday of every month. It's mainly Ali that hosts it. I think I've hosted it once. But what we do is we invite guests. So we may have 4 or 5 or 3 or 2. But if you have other consultants join you who are local, so let's say they have 1 and you have 2, and somebody else has 2, and somebody else has 1, and somebody else has 3, what you then have, and everybody brings a dish. So the consultant, everybody who you're inviting, you all bring a dish that is for everybody. So what you find is suddenly you sat with a group of 14 people around the table. And if that was you on your own, you may just get that 1 or 2. But when you accumulate with all the other consultants local, then you're going to get more of a buzz, and the energy is increased, and more people are likely to really think about the 30 days, because everybody's talking about, as people have done it, they're doing it on the second time, or people are, have followed somebody's journey, haven't done it themselves. But yeah, it's a really, really, it's been a great thing. It's been super successful.
Jen's put, do you do the healthy happy hour presentation? Yeah, so we do go through that, and it's really helpful if you've got somebody there that's already done it, a client that's already done it, just so they can say, oh yeah, that's worked really well for me. Yeah. I've lost this, or I now don't have, my fibromyalgia feels better, or whatever it is. So that's so good if you can get one of those there that can do a testimonial.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Anything else from anybody else, as you have number 1 RVP UK on the call right now?
Do your clients travel far? Sorry, my fingers to get to you. I'd probably say within about 45 minutes. And generally, if somebody's coming from that, I probably invite more people that are local to me. Yeah. But if there's another consultant that lives 45 minutes away, they'll probably bring their direct network. Yeah. So yeah, it's not always possible for everybody. It's just something that works for us, because we've got a lot of base sort of local, not too far away. I know, like for example, Nicola Bunker, she's amazing at putting on events for local. She's got such a good network to her locally, so it worked really well for her. And ultimately, it's just, I will just say, it's about back off my Burbage clients. Ultimately, guys, how are you feeling about this business? Because I I think it's Rita, isn't it, that said, like, we're in the people, like, business. We're meant to be, how fun is this? Like, putting on lunches and having Prosecco with people and, like, just doing a bit of a pamper on somebody. It's how are you thinking about it? Are you thinking, oh, someone's coming around and I've got to do the makeup? Or, like, actually, someone's coming around in a minute and I'm just going to do the makeup and have a drink with them and get to know them and have a chat like friends. Like, you're literally just socializing with people and or whatever it might be, but just making it fun rather than, it's that mindset about it. And actually, like, when you really think about it, this is so good. And when you're in that, like, feeling, it's all coming. Yeah, I'm loving it. Yeah. So it's fun, isn't it? Come on, it's Christmas.
And you know that, like you said, Rita, so Rita, you say people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Mm-hmm. And taking time out to pamper somebody is one of the most special things you can do, because the energy, you know, and it just is about Prosecco, but that's enough to make people feel, wow, you've done this for me. I mean, even today, I gave a lady a whole gold bag, you know, and a primer, and I gave her some, you know, some Rescue Renew products. And you should have seen, she was blown away. She was like, oh my gosh, really? I'm like, absolutely. So people don't do this out there. You've got to remember what we have here is beautiful. You know, people even say, do I need to pay to borrow this bag? No, have it. It's on me. I want you to feel special. Pamper yourself. You're so right, Jade. You know, this is the extraordinary kind of treatment and feeling of just being, gosh, who does that these days? Who actually makes the effort like we do?
Definitely.
All right, super cool. Well, we are done. Thank you so much. You're going to wrap that up. We've got about 16 minutes before we get on to the next call. Thank you, Jade. Thank you. That was amazing. You look great as well. You just like loads of color from your holiday. You look incredible, and really looking forward to, gosh, month end, everybody, you know, getting out those offers. It's like, you know, you've got 3 days for this free sign up and blowing out the water. So thank you, Jade. Thank you so much, Jade. Enjoy the rest of our night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.